What's going on? This is the story of how I became a YouTube strategist. So I'm currently, if we wanted to say ranked, if we wanted to use YT jobs as a good metric, which I don't think it is, I'm currently on the front page of YT jobs under YouTube strategy. I'm here at the bottom. That'll probably change sooner than later. If you want to see, here are some of the videos I've worked on. Not every video I've worked on is here. It's usually only the top 10% of videos I work on with clients are here, just because those ones to drive the most. And here are all my clients. I still have to ask and get some of these locked in and confirmed. I just haven't done it because it's been a while for some of them, and B, it also doesn't matter. I already have a bunch of silver check marks and gold check marks, and hopefully diamond one soon for YT jobs. And yeah, this is my story on how I got into YouTube strategy, how I've turned it into a six-figure career for myself, if you will. Like I started getting six figures in my early 20s. Like I actually, when I first turned 20 is my first kind of six-figure year. And yeah, how I did it, how I came up, and how you could probably come as well. It's a pretty simple path that I took, and honestly, if anyone just followed it for 2 or 3 years, you might be able to get into a similar position or, benefit in some way. So starting off, we got to go all the way back to, man, whatever 7 years ago is at this point, like 2018, I think. This is my best friend, Shock. I knew him forever ago. We played Rainbow Six Siege together on the console, and we switched over to PC, like, maybe a year after we met. And I was at the time a streamer. I had a Twitch channel. I would stream, and every time I died, my chat would be like, "Oh, we get to spectate Shock now," because Shock was just better at the game than I was. He was more entertaining. So I told him, "Hey, you should start a YouTube channel. Hey, you should start streaming." And he did, like, intermittently, but I was like, "Hey, you should commit to it." So I did his thumbnails for him. I just downloaded a preset pack, and I just edited the text because we didn't know what was going on at the time. And over time, we figured out that basically YouTube is a game itself. We were like gamers. We were like incredibly competitive as well. Like we were at this time, like we were the highest ranks in the game. Like we were very good. Like we'd consistently be like top 50, top 100, top 500 in the world in terms of like the ranked ladder. And we were really competitive, and this also transferred to YouTube once we figured out that YouTube is fundamentally a game and we can get good at it. So the first thing we noticed is that in these thumbnails, this champion logo was doing incredibly well, and we started putting it in the thumbnails, and we started kind of getting like an increase in views, and we started more, and then we started getting more increases in views, and then we just kept going over and over and over and over again, and we kept optimizing things. We'd see like what's working, what's not working, and then we figured out that like, okay, the champion logo like is the method, and then we adapted the champion logo to more gameplay stuff because Shock didn't want to like do like more teaching, and originally we were doing like a lot of search engine content, and like getting views, but that's not the content he wanted to make. And he was like, he figured, hey, I was like way too good at the game. I may as well just like do content on how good I am, and just like do gameplay content because we saw it doing well, and other niches. And we started this like right before COVID hit, and then COVID hit and we blew up, and then we just kind of became at one point the biggest Siege creator in the world in terms of views. No one on Rainbow Six Siege was getting more views than Shock for a couple of months. That's just a fact. And I helped do the thumbnail strategy. I also helped do with like some of the editing stuff, and then some of the idea stuff, and then some of the title stuff as well. And early on when I was working with him, he was picked up to an organization called Astralis R6. At the time it was called Disrupt Gaming. They ended up getting bought by Astralis, and I worked here for 3 years, and I had a great mentor called Cashflow, who helped me a lot in kind of my journey on YouTube, where he came back from like a traditional kind of like business background. He understood marketing, he understood these things, right? And he taught me like the basic marketing principles and like things like copywriting at like a very fundamental level, and like the kind of the rudimentary stuff. And that's where I started. They needed a thumbnail designer because the other thumbnail designer ended up like being busy or like got sick or something, so I ended up started doing it. My first video did like not bad. It's 25,000 views, and granted, like this is like funny money, like COVID time, where it's like anything you could put out like would get like views because everyone was like trapped inside and playing games and whatnot. So yeah, I did my reps on this channel. I did a total of, there are 1,000 videos here at 650. I did over 350 videos on this channel. Just like long form videos, thumbnails for 350 long form videos in the course of 2 years, which is about like 175 years, something like that. But what really helped out is that the way that the model of this channel worked is we would upload basically every single day. And in addition to uploading every single day, besides the weekends for some time, we also did a thing where we had multiple creators on the channel. So we worked with a roster of, it was usually like a rotating roster between 7 and 8 creators on this channel. And this is what I kind of attribute like the most of my success to, is I just had so many more reps than anyone else, right? 2 years on just this channel alone, I did, like you saw, it was something like 350 videos. Shock uploaded every single day for 2 years. So I mean, right there that's another like almost 700 videos I did the thumbnails for, or some variation of. And because the way the Astralis channel worked, where we had like a roster of 7 creators, every creator would do 1 video a week. That way we did daily uploads, because you only have to do 1 video a week, and then you can focus on your other channel. So that's how I ended up working with guys like Garfield. I ended up working with Garfield and helping him go from, where was my first video that I helped him? This is like when we started first working with him on Disrupt. And then I would just like work intermittently with him on some, like, let's say thumbnails here and there, and then on some strategy stuff. I think this is like one of the thumbnails I helped with. This was one of the thumbnails I actually did for him 4 years ago. These were thumbnails that I did for him as well. And I helped him with like the strategy as well. You know, I was able to test. So not only doing it for Shock now, I'm also doing it for Alice, I'm doing it for Garfield, and every creator that worked essentially with Strauss in this case, that was on the roster making one video a day, I would end up partnering with them and be like, hey, like, you know, for the bare minimum amount of money, for like 10% of the revenue of your channel, you're not making a whole lot, I will work with you. Or for like straight up, like as small as like, you know, $100, $200, $500, like, you know, the most amount of money I'd ask for at the time, which now that's not even half my hourly rate. My hourly rate's much more than that. Which is like insane to see the growth. I also worked with a guy like Royal Penguin for some time. I worked with a guy from Atheno. I helped take Atheno from 20,000 subscribers to 120,000 subscribers in 6 months using a majority long form content. Some of them, I mean, his highest growth and best videos are when I worked with him. Then I obviously worked with this is my roommate that I run Couch Co-op with. I met them through Strauss at the time, and you know, I mean, again, some of the most popular videos in this case are some of the older ones, but some of the better ones like 2022, etc., are things that I've helped with, and I've worked on strategy with them for quite some time. We've done some really good work. Also worked with Alka. Alka came through the Strauss program. Again, essentially every single person who made a video for Strauss, I worked with in some capacity. I took Alka from $99 a month to almost like $9,000 a month in revenue. And I mean, if you've seen that video over, but yeah, I worked with this guy Timsy. I worked with this guy Littleton for like, you know, a massive amount of time. I've worked with this guy Alarming Plays. I worked with creator Tony. I worked with a bunch of people, and like that's not even half. Like there was something like 30 individual content creators I worked with at one point through the kind of Disrupt Gaming and Strauss pipeline, and every single one of those was uploading daily or multiple times a week, and I was doing the thumbnails for it, I was doing the strategy for it, right? And I was getting so many reps. I remember I did like a month where I like did the amount of thumbnails I did in like that specific month, 30 days, 30-day period of time, and it was something like 400 thumbnails, which is like ridiculous because everyone else as well who wasn't working with the Strauss but was also in Siege wanted thumbnails from me as well because I was also getting really good, right? I got really good at thumbnails really fast, or I got decent at thumbnails. I wouldn't say they were the most technically proficient thumbnails in the world, but they got clicks, which is what mattered. That's like the key metric that mattered. So I was able to like really go crazy on thumbnails. At the same time, I'm also trying to figure out the strategy stuff, and I'm taking over strategy for Strauss at one point, and then from there I just did the strategy in terms of like, here are the ideas we're doing, here's why we're doing them, here are the thumbnails for those ideas, I'm making them, here's how I want the intro structured, etc. I really kind of like dove deep into like what made videos better because I had a performance incentive based bonus or performance based incentive, which is like, hey, like, you know, X amount of views per month, do well, and I also got a percent revenue from the channel, where like, you know, the more money the channel makes, the more money I made. So I was like very, very, very focused on trying to, you know, make as much money as possible for the channel. So that's how you figured out like, okay, I gotta go harder on thumbs, I gotta go harder on scripts and intros, right? So this is another channel we run. So that same entrepreneur, Cash, who ran DG, I was like, oh, we got to get into Valorant. You know, it's the new hot thing. And then for Valorant, I mean, we did, I think, over 100 videos here before I think the channel was sold. Because eventually, like I said, Disrupt got bought by Strauss, and we had to kind of divest our assets from Disrupt Gaming because they bought all of it. They just want the Valorant channel. But yeah, as you can see, like the, you know, the Valorant, the Slip logo, etc. Yeah, I mean, we went crazy here as well, right? We applied the same playbook that at this point was perfected for Rainbow Six Siege to Valorant because it's very adjacent, and just like, you know, we did actually incredibly well here. Bad, the RPM just kind of sucked, but yeah, we got monetized in a month. It's kind of the first channel that I like, you know, saw top to bottom, and then through all these results, I finally got my first ever client outside of people I knew. I didn't know this guy. Just like the first client that like a guy that reached out to me. He saw like, you know, what I was doing. I guess he was friends with one of my friends, but I'd never directly interact with him. And this is Otter, and then I took Otter from 100,000 subscribers. He was getting literally like no views. I hope I can go all the way back to his channel and it won't crash, but he was getting less than 5,000 views a video at 100,000 subscribers. And he basically told me, he's like, hey, you know, this was like, we started working January 1st, 2022. And he said, hey, if like we can't turn this ship around by like, you know, the end of the month, I'm gonna have to get like an actual job. I'm gonna have to like give up on this. And I was like, I think we can do it. I think I, you know, at this point I was confident in myself where I'm like, I think I can go out and do it, and I'm really hoping it doesn't crash because it's a really sick story. Yeah, we started on January 1st officially of 2022, which makes it like a great day, and then we ended officially, like, I think October 1st of 2023. So almost like, I mean, it's a year and a half, almost 2 years there. And then we also worked on, you know, intermittently here and there just for one-off consulting because obviously, you know, when I work with you, I kind of teach you strategy as well. You kind of pick up on it. Yeah, it's a crazy story, like literally getting no views per video, and you know, we went absolutely crazy. And this is where I think I also learned a lot about kind of like broadening out. It was a different niche, right? It was still adjacent enough to, let's say, some of the other stuff I've done in the past, but it was also like wildly different in some aspects as well. And hopefully it's going to keep loading. Okay, we're gonna get there in a second. I hope it doesn't crash because this is where we started back here. These are all look very, 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 very familiar titles. Please don't crash. It's been known to do so. I think we're one more scroll down or two more scrolls down. The $1 million question is, will it crash? Okay, yeah, we're one more scroll down after this. Yeah, so this is what I mean. Like 100,000 subscribers at this point. I think it was like 102,000. So like barely crossing into 100,000, and it's just like no views per video, as you can see here. And we started working together. I wonder if it'll show. If it doesn't crash, it'll show like which video I started working with. But like it was essentially within the first like few videos, we went crazy. Yeah, I think we started working. Here was our first video, and our third video together, 181,000 views. And then from there, this wasn't like COVID times. Like, this is like 2022 now. So like people are back to work, like they're less inside, and this is just like pure like YouTube strategy stuff. I grinded it out, and I mean, yeah, the rest is history. I helped him. I'm not gonna like review his highest income month, but let's just say it was a lot more than when he was getting 5,000 views a video. I'll put it that way. And then from there, I had like an incredible amount of social proof. And then I just kind of, it was like word of mouth. People would be like, hey, you know, you should work with Vex. Hey, you know, hit Vex up, etc. I built a little bit of portfolio there. I had my own done for you agency at one point called Catalyst Management. We worked with a guy named, and I can bring his up. I can bring it up. Rinus Hermans. Let's see if it brings it up. I hope it doesn't bring up something random. It's totally gonna bring up something random. Hold on. I can just log into his channel. I don't think he's gonna care if I do it. Yeah, and then also, I mean, you can see this is my current like client portfolio list, right? You know, pretty not bad if I do say so myself. Well, I might not have access to his channel because I removed myself. But yeah, I mean, these are like kind of my current clients. You can pause here and you can see some of which have like, you know, tens of millions of subscribers. Others have, you know, hundreds of thousands. Most of my clients at this point, like my average client has over 500,000 subscribers and is doing pretty well. I'm not going to log into any of the dashboards, but yeah, that's how I started. I got incredibly lucky. You know, my best friend just happened to also want to do the YouTube thing. I convinced him to do it, and it was really easy to convince him. Obviously, it was super easy. He wanted to do it anyway, and ended up making, I'm not going to say generational wealth, but I'll put it this way. He's on paper, he'll be a millionaire sooner than later. He owns his own house, and then yeah, a bunch of other stuff as well. Now he's just doing things for fun. He's just kind of like retired, if you will. And then from there I got the job at Strategist. I went crazy hard. I tried to like prove myself every day. I got a sick mentor, which obviously helped a lot. Big shout out to Cashflow. I'm very much indebted to him for helping me out. And honestly, I mean, if it wasn't for COVID to an extent as well, I think maybe I would have given up, because like, you know, you progress so much faster, you're getting so many views, you get so many data points. I was working with everyone as well, because everyone wanted to be a content creator during this time. There's literally nothing else you could do. So everyone wanted to be a content creator as well. So they all made it work. I was working with all of them. And then I just scaled up. Once I got that job with Otter, that's when things kind of changed for me. And what I mean by change for me is like, once I was able to successfully execute for someone outside of Rainbow Six Siege, because I've at that point had never done it, I felt awesome. I was like, this is sick. So after I was able to successfully execute outside, I had enough like confidence, like I'm gonna go do done for you. So I hit up entrepreneurs, etc. Because this guy named Alex Ramosi was talking about building a personal brand. I was like, hey, I should jump on that. So for all of like 2022, or halfway through 2022, all the way up to halfway through 2023, I had my own done for you agency. It sucks, by the way. This is a story for another time. And then yeah, I mean, now I do YouTube strategy for some of the biggest clients. And some of the like, you know, biggest YouTubers in the world. I'm not going to reveal too much about what I do for them, but they're usually happy with my work. I hope so. And then I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess like recently, like the last major win for me was I started my own channel, and it's wildly successful in terms of views, based on like, let's say, you know, where maybe you should be. And then yeah, that's essentially it. That is my story on how I got into YouTube strategy, and you can see these analytics here, right? We have a new video cooking. I mean, like even for like uploading one video, I'm still getting 136,000 views. You know, a month on this channel without like doing a lot of work, which is, you know, I'm not gonna say it's unheard of, but not many people are doing it, right? So yeah, I can show you the lifetime. This is, I guess, my last win. Now I'm doing it for myself, and I'm building my own channels, which we have many more coming. Stay tuned. Yeah, that's how I got into YouTube strategy. I'm back to making these videos, hopefully one a day, hopefully with a camera soon once I get some final pieces of my little studio set up. And yeah, it's gonna be a lot of value. I thought I'd just make this video because I get asked it a ton, and maybe it'll inspire you to go out and do it, because like I didn't have any like special advantage. Like, yeah, I mean, I was in the right place at the right time multiple times in a row. I guess that's a lucky thing, but at the same time, like I did do like I said, that 1 month, like 300-ish thumbnails. I was doing like thousands of videos a year in terms of like strategy, thumbnail work, design, watching. And you get really good really fast when you do a fucking ton of volume. So yeah, I think in like 2 years or something, I looked over like 2,000 videos, which is like, that's essentially basically 3 videos every day. Roughly, I think it actually works out to be roughly 3 videos, like maybe 2.8 videos every single day. I had some type of contribution to. And this is not even counting shorts that some of my clients did that I worked with as well. But yeah, that is the story of how I got into YouTube strategy. Maybe that'll inspire you to also get into YouTube strategy. I will say it's not for everyone. I would highly recommend. I'd actually probably avoid it. You have to be a special type of insane to like it. I'm not going to get into what my daily routine likes. Maybe you like that as your own video. But there is a special type of insanity that you have to do it at the level I do it at. That I can count on one hand the amount of people in the world who do it on the level that I do it at in terms of consistency over breadth of clients. There are definitely people who are better than me. Don't get me wrong. But they work with like a handful of clients. I work with a massive range of clients consistently. That's how I got into YouTube strategy. I know this is not optimized for the outro. This is kind of my yap channel. Maybe one day I'll have an actual strategy channel. But yeah, this is I thought it was an important video to make, and hopefully you learned something from it, and hopefully you can get some value.